Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so here's what you need to know. We have to make a zombie diver costume from scratch by the end of this month for a Halloween display that we're putting on for the kids in our neighborhood. This all started when I saw what Lowe's had to offer this year as far as animatronics goes. I can make this not only better and cheaper, but I can make it a costume. The only problem with that is it's October 3rd. I have less than a month to make a full diver helmet that lights up and shows a skull underneath and a diver's costume from scratch. Step one is making the prototype. Okay, so before I go making the whole helmet in EVA foam, which I actually don't really have any experience doing, I decided I wanted to prototype it, mainly so that I can figure out the math to putting a sphere into a flat plane. We'll get to that. So first, I'm gonna do it in cardboard, which I hope I have enough of. Let's get to cutting. This won't work. Neither will you. Neither will any of you. Oh boy. Oh, my cardboard is too small. Well, that's an unforeseen problem.
The helmet is hard and heavy, so the tender places it over the diver's head gently.
After yesterday's bitter disappointment, I think I've come up with a better solution. Poster board. This might even be easier to do rather than using corrugated cardboard. We'll find out, but one more time with feeling.
Why don't you try it?
Bonnie, will you tell us?
Bonnie.
Nightmares.
Oh, this lady is killing me. It's like watching a Twilight Zone episode starring Adelaide from Guys and Dolls.
Thing happens to you for 6 nights in a row.
Charmed, I'm sure. Okay, so this prototype turned out pretty well. I got all the information from this prototype that I really needed. I think I can get the skull mask and the lights and my big head inside. Oh, actually, let's try on the skull mask while we're at it. I haven't even tried this thing on yet. This smells terrible. Little tight, little tight. There we go. Oh, this I can already see it. This is gonna look so cool. This also makes me want to do a dead astronaut kind of costume. Or what was it from Doctor Who? Do the Vashta Narada. Hey, who turned out the lights? Oh, that's a great idea. Anyway, goodbye.
He knows that an imbalance of pressures can cause trouble.
Now, while we wait for some more materials to arrive in the mail for the actual final helmet build, we're going to move on and actually make the suit itself. Let's see, is there anything else you need to know? Oh, right, it's October 12th and I don't know how to sew. Let's talk about our plan. Now, I do know the basics of working with a sewing machine, but the last thing I actually sewed was a pillow in an 8th grade home ec class, and I've never attempted anything as complicated as a full-body suit. To make it as easy on myself as I can, I've decided to split the suit into a simple tunic, some simple pants, and a belt in the middle to hide the separation and make it all look like one big piece. For the material, I've chosen canvas drop cloths from the hardware store. They're cheap, but there is one problem. This smells like somebody's basement. Ooh. Stop doing that. So with some basic measurements, smelly drop cloths, and just enough knowledge to be dangerous, it's time to get to work. Do any seamstresses, Stirs, you who sew, I'm really sorry for everything you're seeing and everything you're about to see, because it's only going to get worse from here, because I mostly build and make by vibes and intuition. I like to think that adds to the fun. Your mileage may vary. Oh, the 80s shoulder pads are great. Maybe see if there's something I can do about that. But other than that, not half bad, honestly. Okay, cool. Go get this thing off me. Oh, God. Oh. And when the time comes, I am not trying those pants on. We're just going to wash them and hope for the best. Oof. Now we need to talk about the boots. So the plan is that I'm basically going to make a pair of spats out of this extra canvas and some other bits of leather to wrap around the boot, lace up the front, and cover them. Put some EVA foam on the toe and the heel to look like fake weights on a diver suit, and I think that'll work pretty well. Now, let's be honest. I know I could go online and find some free sewing patterns that would help me make spats, but am I really going to do that? No, come on. Vibes and instinct, everybody. Vibes and instinct. Sometimes vibes and instinct will lead you astray. So these spats were going... Calm down. These spats were going pretty well, but I tried to sew on this little leather border here, and my sewing skills were definitely not up to that. It was all crooked and wonky and looked hideous, so I took that back out and figured, well, it's just decorative. I'll just put rivets spaced evenly across, and that should be good enough. Until I broke my riveter. We're gonna come back to this tomorrow. So version 1 of the spats didn't go great, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because it gave me a couple of days to rethink what I'm doing here and come out with this. This is much better. I'm really pleased with this, but we have to go back and fix spat number 1, and then we can move on to the belt. Homestretch. Now that we've got both of the spats done, I'd like to introduce you to the most expensive member of the team, the belt. This is literally a weightlifter's belt for the gym. And yeah, I couldn't find a better option. I literally went through a couple of different ideas, but this is honestly the one that fit. It seems to actually go with the thing the best, so here we are. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot to this. I do want to add some small D-rings and a couple little leather straps so I can add some rope as a suspender sort of look. That's not exactly traditional, but I'm going to do it because I think it'll look cool. But this bad boy is going to get grunged up and scuffed and weathered, and I'll try to figure out some way to remove the branding off of the back. Although a lot of that's going to get covered up by the batteries that are going to be on the back to run the lights in the helmet, but I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, we just need to add some D-rings, and then we can call the suit done, which is great, because for those of you playing along at home, it's October 20th. I have about 10 days now to get that helmet done. You know what? That's future Perry's problem. I don't envy that guy. Poor schmuck. Anyway, on to the belt. You know, seriously, for somebody who genuinely just has like no experience sewing, this came out nicely. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is far from professional. Far from professional. I'm not even sure it can see professional from where it is, but in all honesty, like, come on. That's a little show for you. That's for free. Next one will cost you. We'll put on the prototype helmet real quick. Still a little tight. I regret nothing. Nothing. This is the greatest thing I've ever done. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you kids and your meddling dog.
Underwater visibility is seldom good, and dirty ports would further reduce the diver's vision.
It's time. The big event. The moment I've all been waiting for. It's time to make the diver helmet. Now, for those of you playing along at home, it is October 21st. We have about 9 days to get this, the thing that's gonna sell the whole costume, done. The main part of the helmet is going to be made out of 8mm EVA foam. I also have some other thicknesses in case we want them for detail pieces and that sort of thing. Then inside the helmet, we're gonna have this skull mask lit up in a nice green Scooby-Doo fashion by these LEDs here. Powering the LEDs, I've got these 2 battery packs that will live on the back of the belt and get changed out as they die and need recharging. These are also going to run the other part of electronics in this helmet, this fan. And finally, we have these artist acrylics over here to give it a nice brass, copper, gold sort of finish. So, with our IKEA Build-A-Diver helmet kit in place, let's talk about how we're actually gonna do this. This is my template. I'm gonna take this template, transfer it to this, and then we should be able to glue it all together into something a little, let's say rounder than this prototype was. Let's get to work on the real thing. All right, so my strategy for doing this so far has been to start at the center registration marks, and then once the center is together, then moving to the edges, like the very points, and putting those together, and then just massaging the seam from there. And that seems to work out mostly pretty well. It does not help that I think my contact cement is a little past its prime. I think it might have seen better days, which is not making this any easier. I also just have to keep reminding myself that I have never worked with EVA foam before. This is literally the first time I've ever tried this, so, you know, a little wiggle room is required. To be fair, this seam went a lot better than that one. We'll put that one in the back. I do think I got the size right. This is the part of the build that I love. The moment when everything starts to look like the thing that it's supposed to be. So I'm starting to get pretty jazzed about this whole thing. It is currently October 24th, and honestly, for about the first time in this build, I'm starting to feel like I can do this. And maybe with a little time to spare. Oh, I just jinxed it, didn't I? You idiot. Well, anyway. The plan from here is to get this sorted out, and then we'll start making the final cuts to the actual inside of the helmet to make the hole as big as we need it to be. We'll make the final cuts on the side pieces, caulk all of the seams, and make all of this as smooth as we can, and then we'll do the electronics. Then we can marry these two pieces together and start the finishing touches. I'm getting pretty excited. So now we need to talk about the fan. Now the plan with the fan is going to be to mount it in the back of the helmet. The idea being that instead of pushing air into the helmet to cool me off, it will pull air through the front and side viewports, which will be open. I've been doing some tests off camera, and I think that if I were to take these corners on one side off while leaving the corners in the back in place, I should be able to slot this from the inside and then use bolts through these back corners to hold it in place. That's what we're doing next, if you didn't know. Okay, time to test the LEDs in the mask. Let's see how this works. This still smells terrible. It's all a bit of a mess right now. Let's turn off some lights. I think it's a pretty good test, but I am going to have to move a couple of these lights. These two right on the sides are just shining directly into my eyeballs and utterly blinding me. I can't see crap with them on. But I think 4 LEDs is pretty good, honestly. Ha 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 ha. This is so cool. Okay, so I may have underestimated this bad boy. We still have time, but it is 8:15 at night on October 29th, and we still have not plastic dipped this yet. I only just got done covering all the seams and that sort of thing. It's taken a minute. But rather than wait until tomorrow to do all the plasti dip and all the painting, which the day before Halloween seems like I'm asking for some serious trouble, I think I'm going to try to set up all of my filming lights outside and see if I can just plasti dip this bad boy in the dark. Which also vaguely seems like a recipe for disaster, but at this point I think we're at the phase where I have to pick my disaster. So I think I'm gonna give that a shot. We'll see what happens. Won't lie though, I'm getting pretty tired. Why in the world did I not only decide to do this with only 30 days, but also to document it and edit it as I go? What in God's name got into me? Not to mention that on top of this, I have my day job of recording audiobooks. I have recorded 4 full books this month on top of doing all this. What was I thinking? I have to get moving. If I stay still too long, I'm gonna lose momentum, so let's go. Well, it is November 13th. Halloween has long passed. The good news is that I did get the helmet done in time for Halloween. The bad news is that we were having so much fun on Halloween night that we forgot to get any footage of it, but we came back the next day and got some footage of both the helmet and the suit, so in a second we'll do the big reveal of the entire costume all put together. But first, I want to take a second and talk about this helmet, because this turned out so much better than I thought it could. Look how pretty! The green LEDs lighting up the mask looked incredible at night. The fan in the back worked an absolute treat, pulling air in from the sides and the front. I had a nice breeze all night. I will say that if this helmet has one drawback, it is this. Visibility is, shall we say, limited. With the black head sock under the skull mask inside the lit up helmet, once the sun went down on Halloween, I couldn't see squat. The price we pay for beauty. Now, if you've enjoyed watching me build this Haunted Diver costume, be sure to like this video and hit subscribe so you're around for next year when we come back for Haunted Diver Part 2, because that's coming, let me tell you. Now, without further ado, I think it's time we turn these lights off, and then we do the big reveal of the entire costume. Thanks for watching.